Hi there, good morning, Clock in the Gallop, folks. After a double header yesterday, it's back into it today. It is Saturday, the 6th of August, and we are racing on the Standside track today for our 9 races. It's me again flying solo today on this Saturday, so hopefully we've done our homework and we can get it spot on for you. The track condition today is good. There's no chance of rain here today, a maximum of 22 degrees centigrade. And there has only been 1 millimeter of rain in the last week here at Turffontein. 6 millimeters of irrigation in the last 7 days, but the track condition is good today with a penetrometer of 21. The false rail is 0 on the back straight, going up to 10 meters out in the bend, and there'll be a 10-meter spur at the 700-meter marker. So it's quite a wide false rail today out at 10 meters. The jockey not riding today is J.P. van der Merwe. He is suffering from concussion, so he'll only be back in just over a week's time. And as we mentioned on a previous show, we wish him all the best and a speedy recovery. Right, we're going to bring up the betting for you. And whilst we do that, I will go to the first race of the day today. Race number 1 is a maiden plate up the straight, 1160 meters. You can scratch number 12, Wind Water. Number 3, Spring Will Come, is a change of rider here as well. It looks like Randall Simons won't be aboard this one. And we've got Apprentice Sianda Sasibo, who'll get an early ride today. So Apprentice Sianda Sasibo rides, and he claims is 4 kilograms, riding number 3, Spring Will Come. Other changes, number 1, Alabaster has a Cornell collar fitted, and number 2, Captain Freedom races unshod. Well, the market support has all been for number 9, Houston. Open 12-1 is now 28-10. So he's a very well-bred son of the United States. He's a half-brother to a horse called Darive, who is a smashing-looking horse. And I've no doubt when I see this horse in the flesh when I go to Turffontein later, that I'll be wowed by his presence. He's out of a mare called We Have Liftoff, who won once over 1,200 meters. But the market is speaking loudly about number 9, Houston. So we reckon that that one is probably the horse to beat. But on form, it'll have to beat number 5, Twice the Storm, the son of Twice Over, who's wearing blinkers for the first time. Muzayeni was in cracking form yesterday. He had a few winners, and he captained the Natal side to a win in the GTH racing. So he's on the crest of a wave after last night. Twice the Storm, and the first time at Houston. That's what it looks like in the first, and barring any accidents, that's the way that it should work out. Burgess is the other horse that I wanted to mention, only for the fact that he's probably the 3rd best in the race. And then there is another first-timer by Twice Over called Volt Fuss, number 10. Rachel Venica rides, and we'll have to see if there's any market support, but it doesn't look like that is fancied. So that's the first of the day, which looks pretty simple to work out. Race 2 at 12:40 is a maiden plate fillies and mares over 1,160 meters. Here you can scratch number 9, United Council, as a non-runner, and the earmuffs have now gone on number 3, Critical Thinking. So that's been a late change. This horse looks pretty skittish, judging on its first couple of runs. So they've decided to put the earmuffs on number 3, Critical Thinking. Right, let's have a look at the betting. The betting would suggest there's only one horse in the race in the form of number 4, Gregarious Gal. She is bred basically along German thoroughbred lines, Gregarious Gal, and she had a very useful debut. She is now 6.5 to 10 for Gavin Larena and the Asmen. So she really does prove to be the one to beat. I did, however, think that number 6, In a Sense, from the Lucky Udalaka stable, had a fair enough debut to bear recognition here. And I'll be watching number 6, In a Sense, on the way down to the start. I see there's only a half set of Alamites, which is concerning, but she ran 3 3/4 lengths behind Time for Glory, who has contested feature races. And I think that In a Sense might also have a say. In terms of the first timers, there are a couple of them. Number 5, Haley's Promise, looks like it's going to run further. On the mother's side, she's a half-sister to Tahitian Arana, who went 1,600 to 1,800 meters. Number 7, Masava, is a very interesting runner. She's out of the mare Maggie Muggins, who was a half-sister to War Room. So there's plenty of speed in the pedigree here. She's also Masaba herself, a half-sister to Heaven's Girl, who was by Soft Falling Rain. So, you know, she could be anything. And so could number 8, Rockets Red Glare, 20-1. She's by the United States, the sire of that first horse who's attracted all the support. She's a half-sister herself, Rockets Red Glare, Stone Cold. So watch out for those first-timers, but it does look on exposed first run that Gregarious Gal is the horse to beat. I'll be watching In It Sense as well, because she ran up nicely on debut to run 4th to Time for Glory, who is rated 100. Now, if you take into account that Time for Glory is rated 100, it's put In a Sense in at a rating of 92, whereas Gregarious Gal on my ratings comes out at 86. So I don't know whether there's that much difference between them. It's just about the well-being of Innocence, who made her debut in March and might need the run. But it may well go to Gregarious Gal. That race is still up in the air for me. Let's go to the third race at 1:15. It's the start of the pace accumulator. It is a maiden plate, and it's to be run over 1,800 meters. In race number 3, there are no changes to report. Now, this is a bit tricky. It appears that Fadi Bronkhorst tried to keep the race alive by nominating 3 of his runners here, and therefore the race has stood up. So it looks like he may want to win this one. With which one is the question? It's probably with Flag Bearer, because he's got top jock Gavin Larena up on that. He's got Ryan Munga up on Rishan's Boy, and he's got the apprentice Sianda Sasiba up on Treaty. Treaty's a very interesting runner. She comes in with just 49 kilos because of the apprentice allowance, which means that in this maiden plate, horses like Big Guy, Flow Forever, Atlantic City, and the stable companion Flag Bearer have to give Treaty 11 kilos. Now, that's a hell of a lot of pudding. It definitely brings the 3-year-old filly Treaty into the race, but the fact is she's just turned 3, and she's running over 1,800 meters. So that will be against her. But I wouldn't leave her completely out of the calculations, the bottom horse with a light weight. Going back up to the top weights here, Big Guy. Well, Alec Laird has turned his form around. 2 out of his last 3 runners have been winners. So therefore, Alec Laird's stable is bouncing back nicely. So I'm happy to see that. Caden Brewer rides this again. He rode it last time out. I think Big Guy would definitely be on my short list. Flow Forever has attracted support from 8-1 into 4-1. He certainly will be on the premises. Cabela Matsanyani's never ridden him before, but he's drawn it once, so that's always a positive. Atlantic City, I did speak to Neil Andrews this morning. He liked this. I know this horse has got issues with changing legs, and he's never on the right leg, but Calvin Habib has ridden him a few times, so he's got to know him pretty well. And then Flag Bearer as well comes into it. So I'm not convinced that any one of the horses in single figures is a certainty here, but I think that the horses Richard's Boy, General Pascal, and No Dream Too Big are going to be really out here in terms of trying to win it. But I wouldn't be surprised if any one of the other 5 picked up the honours in the third race. I rate that a tricky race. Race 4 is the start of the pick 6 at 10-2. It's a fillies and mares 72 handicap. It's run over 1,800 meters. In race 4, number 7, Mariposa, is now ridden by Matthew Thackeray. That's the jockey change. And number 1, Franklin, has the tongue tie removed. And then number 7, Mariposa, has Alamites in front and races unshod behind. Well, there's very little in the market here. Crusade to Royalty, for me, is a surprising favourite at 5-2. I thought this horse would prefer it further than the 1,800 meters, but definitely has got claims. They put the cheek pieces on for the first time, and that may get her into the race a bit early. She tends to run home late in the day, but I'm surprised actually to see her posted up as the favourite at 5-2. I would have expected one of the other 3 that are vying for favouritism to be the favourite here. Let There Be Light runs for Yart Visser for the first time. Note that there are colour changes here. Runs in blue, yellow, and red colours, and is now new ownership as well. Rachel Veneker still battling to win her first race since going back to the 1.5 kilo claim since the beginning of the month at the start of the week. So Let There Be Light definitely is one for the shortlist. Greek Miss may well be the right one over here. She's at 33 to 10. She comes from a good draw, but she's out at the weights with Castle Durrow. Now, Castle Durrow, because of Sianda Sasiba's 4-kilogram allowance, comes in with just 57 kilos. So that puts her very well in. And if you're strictly looking at weights, Castle Durrow is your horse here at 33 to 10. She would be the right horse for the weights and for form studies. Greek Miss with Muzienion cannot be discounted, and neither can Let There Be Light. So I made it between 2, 3, and 4, and only 5 then behind them, Crusade to Royalty. So I make it a race in 3. I think 2, 3, or 4 will win here, with preference probably for Castle Durrow due to the weights, but not ruling out a Greek Miss or Let There Be Light to win race number 4, the opening leg of the Pick 6. Let's move on to race number 5. Race 5 on the card is a middle stakes over 2,400 meters here. You can scratch number 6, Viceroy, the rank outsider at 33 to 1. That's come out of the race. What else have we got? We've got number 3, Flying First Class, with a compression mask fitted today. Calvin Habib rides. So Flying First Class races with a compression mask. I'm just going to update my records as well there. Let's go to the betting. Well, they've got Lamborghini and Flying First Class pretty much together here in the betting. Flying First Class at 9 to 4, Lamborghini 5 to 2, Razor Hallelujah is at 3 to 1, and Arlington Action is at 33 to 10. They're pretty close in the market, all of those four, with the Cop at 7 to 1, the outsider of now a 5-horse party. Strictly on form in this race being a middle stakes, fillies and mares get a 2.5 kilogram sex allowance, and because of that, it will catapult Flying First Class to the top of our rating. So Flying First Class and Calvin Habib are the likely winner for us, ahead of Lamborghini and Arlington Action. Last time out, we labeled Razor Hallelujah. It won for us. It was a good price. Today, we think he's got a bit to find, and we prefer others, but he's a very, very capable individual. Once again, we're going Flying First Class on the Clock in the Gallop show to beat Lamborghini and Arlington Action in no particular order. They're 4 and 5. So 3 from either 5 or 4, or 4 and 5 with 2 behind them. Let's move on to race 6, which is off at 3 o'clock. It's a Pinnacle Stakes. It's run over 2,000 meters. No scratchings in race 6. Number 8, Opera Glass. This is an important jockey change because we were waiting to find out who was riding this. Now, apprentice Pilasandi and Corley nearly did us a big favor when he was riding in PE the other day, when he rode Kana, which we tipped as a price booster. Went off at 25 to 1 and ran a short-head second to his stable companion, Anatura. Today, he could do us a favor on this horse, the 12.5 to 1 chance, Opera Glass. Now, he runs against his stable companion, Rouge Allure, who's been an absolute model of a racehorse, having a 102nd start today. Gavin Lorena rides for Stephen Moffat. The question mark on Rouge Allure is the trip of 2,000 meters. If it was shorter, we could probably put her into the mix too, but 2,000 meters is a question mark, giving her stable companion 2 kilos. Opera Glass for us is one of the principals, even though it's 12 to 1. You Can't Hurry Love with Muzienion is certainly knocking on the door. Hasn't won for 940 days. So it's been a long time between drinks for the son of Gimme the Green Light, but You Can't Hurry Love is a definite runner. So 7 and 8 are probably the short list over here of our possible likely winners. Sudden Star's an interesting runner. Runs the first time for Bar and Buddhis and Yolandi Foslu. Ryan Munger rides. If you look back, has got a close-up 2.5 length defeat by Sparkling Water when giving it 4 kilos, but that was over a distance much further than today. He's the dark horse in the race, Sudden Star. Quite surprised, actually, to see Ocean Warrior as favorite here, 33 to 10 with Rouge Allure. But as I said, Rouge Allure can always step up to the plate. We prefer the bottom weights here, being 7 and 8, You Can't Hurry Love, and 8, Opera Glass. Let's move on to race 7 at 15:35. It's a fillies and mares 91 divided handicap. It's to be run over 1,400 meters. There's a late scratching here. Number 4, Sacred Lotus, has been sold without the engagement. So Sacred Lotus is now a non-runner in race 7. The jockey change for number 6, Rosa Prima, is apprentice Sianda Sasibo, who claims 4 kilograms. Other changes, number 2, Midnight Gem will race with a pressure halter on. Blinkers go on, number 7, Special Variety. And also now a blinker update for number 8, Twice the Trip. Well, I don't think it's worn blinkers before, so that one, number 8, Twice the Trip, will also sport a set of blinkers on. Right, where are we going here? Where are we going to go here with regards to race number 7? Well, let's look at it. Special Variety and Roja, joint favorites at 18-10. Roja and Special Variety 18-10. Then you've got Mill Queen, the top weight, very classy individual at 9-2. And then you've got Midnight Gem at 11-2. Well, Special Variety with the weight of 52 kilograms. She's an up-and-coming horse. The question mark are the blinkers. Are the blinkers going to do the trick for the daughter of Rafif? You can't be certain about that, but she does represent the likely horse to the one to beat over here, Special Variety. However, the value has to be with number 6, Rosa Prima at 8-1. She comes in with the apprentice allowance to only 50 kilos. Therefore, she's got a couple beat on a couple of runs. So don't exclude number 6, Rosa Prima at 8-1. She's got to have a decent enough chance. I mentioned Roja at 18-10 and Mill Queen, even though Mill Queen carries 61. If you go back to her penultimate start behind Anne Boleyn, she raced wide that day. And with all due respect, she didn't really corner too well either. And I think that Mill Queen is still a runner here, even carrying the top weight. So I make this a bit open. I know that Neil also mentioned the rank outside at 33-1 to me this morning, number 5, Linger No More. I didn't particularly like her, but I respect his opinion, and he reckoned that that could upset too at bigger odds. So this race is turning out to be really close to a field race, race 7, with nothing really clear cut. Rosa Prima is the value in the race at 8-1 with a lightweight to Special Variety, but then any one of the others can upset in, or can come through rather, in that 7th race. Let's move on to the 8th race. Well, this was definitely a field race for us. I know that it's a Fillies and Mares 73 divided handicap over 1,400 meters. In race 8, number 9, Time for That, the jockey changes Cabello Matsunyani riding that. Neil and I discussed this race, and we had slightly differing opinions on it. So for that reason, I'm going to suggest in the pick sixes and the jackpots that you go field here, because it is that type of race. However, I'm going to shortlist a few, starting in numerical order. Number 1, Mama Quera, has to go in. Even though it's drawn 12, Gavin Lorena rides it particularly well. Gavin's riding well at the moment. And even though she's carrying 60 and drawn outside, she has the tendency to flash up late. So include her. Down to number 6, Silvery Blue, the 6-1 chance. Ryan Munger, not drawn well, Silvery Blue, but it's got a couple beaten on form lines, and she is threatening to win her 2nd race. So I thought that Silvery Blue definitely warrants inclusion. Further down, how can we leave out Bella Rosa? She hasn't won for 772 days. She comes in with only 52 kilos, but she could choose today to pop up. So she's another one to include. Then number 12, Coco Hill, and number 13, Petunia. Why is Muziyeni sitting on Petunia? That's the question mark we have to ask. Therefore, we've got to throw her in with a top jock on. 12, Coco Hill, just above her, has claims on a couple of runs. That's the short list, but because we're going a number of horses there, that does tend to be a field race, race number 8. And then the lucky last, race 9, 4:45, the off time of a merit rated 76 handicap. It's a sprint. It is over 1,160 meters. Just updating the changes for the last race, number 11, Magic Flower, will now be a chance ride for apprentice Joshua Solomons. And how well has he done for the Paul Peters stable? That horse legislates dance. He's won the last 2 on it and won't stop there, judging by the way he rode it during the course of the week. So Joshua Solomons rides the 12-1 chance, number 11, Magic Flower. That's the only change there from a jockey change perspective, and also from the changes. Well, let's go to it. This race looks wide open at the outset. Ridge Tarif, number 2, is the favorite at 9-2. You've got number 6, Integrate, at 5-1. One Frontline Fighter, 11-2. And then there's been money for number 10, Power Ranger, from 10s to 7s. And number 12, Roger the Dodger, who tries blinkers today, is quoted at 8 to 1. What do we like? Well, it's open. I thought the horse to beat actually is Power Ranger. We're going Power Ranger to win it. He's only run once over the course and distance. He ran second. In fact, if you go back and look at who he ran second to, he ran second. I think he was either on debut or on his second run to Tuscan Winter over this course and distance. Now, if he reproduces that very early run in his career, then he is a big runner here. Now, Roy Magna has bought a sprinter before from Mike de Kock called Vaseem, and we all know what happened when he took over the reins there. I'm not saying Power Rangers in the league of Vaseem, but what I am saying is that he probably is the value at 8:30 on a Saturday morning at 7 and 8 to 1. Rich Tarif comes into it. I like Rich Tarif. Funnily enough, I don't like Frontline Fighter at all today at 11 to 2. May well win, but won't be winning with my money. Rich Tarif, I think, has got a chance. Camper is interesting, number 3 at 16 to 1. Reason being that he ran to Gallic Chief, very strong field in the graduation. He's had a bit of time off, but he could be absolutely anything now that the Alec Laird stable has had a couple of winners. I'll be chucking him in. Esquivel can find his best form. He's not bad on his day. Calvin Habib rides him, but he's got to beat Integrate on the form, and Integrate really comes up strongly in form study over here. He's drawn at 1, gets Gavin Larena on for the first time, but he's a definite improving horse, is Integrate, and he definitely warrants inclusion here. So, in summarizing then, just one other, and that was the Gliding Fish, number 9. I mention him only because of the fact that his last run, I didn't expect him to win at all, and he won. He's at 12 to 1, and I'm going to chuck him in as well at the very, very last minute. So we made it, or I made it, between 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, and 10. But our top choice there would be number 10, Power Ranger, I think, to go close to winning the last race of the day. So that's our preview for today. Hope that you play well. We do have a separate Take a Bet show, which will be going up later. We're trying a PA for 300 Rand, and I have done that show earlier on this morning with Chloe. We hope that you have a great day's racing out at Turffontein. It's the Standside track today, and we hope that you enjoy the rugby. Go the Bokke up against the All Blacks. That's being played after the last race today. More action tomorrow. There's racing at Scottsville tomorrow, racing in KwaZulu-Natal. Hollywood Bet Scottsville. The Ghost Rider will be up tomorrow and will give us his selections. From all of us here at Clock in the Gallop, have a great Saturday and enjoy the day's racing. Bye-bye.